We got Bog Golf TV about discs and twigs and things. We got Bog Golf TV about discs and twigs and things. We got Grab Another Seat, Chris Wobble greeting me on the Bog Golf TV show.
About disc golf.
Get some.
Get some.
Welcome to Ball Golf TV. Got Cameron Messerschmidt.
Yeah, Messerschmidt.
Messerschmidt.
It's German, so.
Okay, there you go. Up and comer. I've been playing open for 2 years.
Since September of last year. So Washington State's at this course actually. Last year was my first open tournament.
Okay, so almost a year.
Almost a year.
Nice. Very
Couple
good.
months.
From Vancouver, Washington.
Yep.
Kind of a tweener.
Not
too close to Portland for the Washington guys.
Yeah.
But you're still in Washington for the Portland guys.
We're kind of like hanging out in no man's land there. Don't really have a club or anything, or too many courses, so it's kind of just, you know.
Nobody wants you.
Yeah. You kind of just had to learn on your own. There wasn't anybody taking you under your wing, trying to show you the lines or the ropes.
There you go. So you went on a, I'd say brief, but a pretty extensive, mainly West Coast tour for your first year playing professional.
Yeah. Actually, I started out doing the first circuit, the Gentlemen's Club and Memorial and World Tour, and then I ended up going out east a little bit into Indiana. I played a couple 8 tiers in Texas, and I skipped Nick Hyde to go up to Iowa to play a Rumble because I heard good things about that tournament. And then after that, I picked up my buddy Alex, who played the NTs in Kansas, the GBO and the KC Wide.
It's Alex Russell.
Yeah, Alex Russell, also a very good golfer from Vancouver, Washington.
Go shout out to Alex.
Yeah. And then, we went to Utah, and then we played Masters Cup and went home. And then, after that, I've just kind of been playing locally. And then I did go out to Pennsylvania and Kentucky for a few tournaments, but only was gone for a couple weeks.
Okay.
So
Are
now
you going out at all?
So I will be pretty much like West Coast for the rest of the year, but I do have one stretch of 6 8 tiers where I'll be playing the Farragut Open, the NorCal Series Championships, the Shelley Sharp Memorial, the Halloween Classic, and then the Veterans Open and the Piney Woods Open in Texas.
Okay.
But after that, pretty much that's what my year is going to wrap up and conclude.
Okay. So going on tour, I know that I don't travel all that much, but when I do, when you play bigger tournaments, it's definitely different than playing a normal C tier or a B tier.
Mm-hmm.
You go to those tournaments, usually you can go out on the course, you can play holes, you can get warmed up, you can get into sort of a normal routine that way. But going to those bigger tournaments, there's tee times, so the courses aren't always open. Usually have somewhere to warm up. What are some things that you learned playing those bigger tournaments and on tour?
Well, one major thing I've learned on tour, and it took me about 2 weeks to figure it out, is that you play a lot of golf on tour because there isn't much else to do. So about 2 weeks into it, my shoulder was really sore, and it was really tough to recover because you needed to be practicing for the tournaments that are upcoming. And so one thing I do, especially on tournament days, is I just don't spend a whole lot of time in the field. I'll go out and throw no more than 20 shots just to get my arm warm, make sure I get a couple forehands in there. And then I'll spend the rest of my time waiting for my tee, usually just putting and just getting that up, because I know if you're putting well, then you're going to be capitalizing on a lot of the opportunities you present yourself. So just try to make sure the arm and the backhand's warm and trust my mechanics when it's time to play, and just focus on the putting.
Any ice out there?
Any ice?
Any ice? You're young. How old are you?
I'm 20.
20.
So
okay,
turned 21.
Not smart enough to use ice yet.
No. I should ice
That'll
more.
help you out.
I do ice every now and then, but I should ice more. Yeah.
There you go. Okay. I think that'll do it. That's Cameron Messerschmidt. Vancouver, Washington. So we'll get into the usual here. We're gonna play 3 holes. We're out at Fort Stillicum. We're gonna play hole 1, hole 2, and hole 5, which is a good par 5 out here. I think is a good hole to showcase. So whoever wins those 3 holes, they'll get the box for a game of bogey.
Okay.
Before we play the game of bogey, we'll go over your putt. So you break down your putt, give some tips. And we'll go from there.
All right. Sounds good.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Alright, so now we're going to get into Cameron's putt. Played a few times with Cameron recently. His putt has definitely come a long way from the first couple times I'd seen him play. Got the straightforward, right the way you want to putt, so there you go, take it away.
Alright, so basically the main things I like to focus on when I'm putting is my foot. I don't like my toe pointed straight at the basket because, I don't know, something about my alignment with my shoulder, I always seem to pull them left. So I always want my toe a little bit pointed. It's just almost like it kind of gets my shoulder straight at the basket because that's kind of what my putt is off of, is just like a push straight at the basket. So I want this shoulder lined up, and then my grip just really consists of like putting a disc in my hand and just letting my hand fall around it. So I've got like a pretty wide grip on the bottom. I cover a lot of surface, and then I like just a little bit of pop, and I just come down and then almost pause and just kind of wait till I'm ready to go, and then straight at it. And I almost want to push through the pole and like putt behind it. And straight. Killing us.
Okay, so you had said you like your foot a little bit sideways. So would that be more aiming off of your pinky toe? Or do you even think about it? It's just kind of sort of a feel thing.
Like I aim with my knee almost. Like I just want the side of my knee kind of like pointed straight at the basket. Like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what my aim point is, but I just don't like my toe. And I know if it's usually pretty natural when I come up, so I know if I'm pushing them a little bit right, maybe my toe is just a little too far in. So it's something I can tweak during the round that almost might help my mental state or anything. Like especially if I'm missing left, right, I could just go, oh, it's just that. Even if it's not, you know, mentally it can get you back on track.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and that little turn of the foot is going to rotate your hips just naturally.
And
so
like,
it's going to bring your shoulder
on longer
right
putts
on line.
too. Like when I'm jumping, I'll almost have it even more turned because like I almost want my shoulder all the way there so I can like reach and lunge all the way out. Whereas for more of a putt, it's like from my body. From longer, it's like from my hip and then out and forward.
Okay. So go ahead, break that down a little bit more. You were saying your regular putt, you're starting from your body. Let's go ahead and break down your jump putt. I don't think we've never broken down a jump putt, so we'll go ahead and do that.
So
since there are minor differences.
So my jump putt, the only major difference is, like I said, my foot might be angled a little bit more because I want to be even straighter with it. And then I don't really have a super wide stance. This foot can be, depending on my lie, pretty much anywhere in this area. I like shoulder width apart because I feel like I can get a lot of jump and pop. And yeah, so it's the same kind of rhythm though, and I come down and I pause, and then when I go, I'm ready and I accelerate off both feet. It's not a step or anything, so it's just a little up. And I usually try to get the nose a little bit up and a lot of spin on my jump putts.
Okay. And there's one thing you said in there, you're coming up off of both feet. I think that's a lot of things that people who have just started kind of get wrong. When you're down, it's almost just like shooting a basketball.
Athletic position.
Yeah, it's an athletic position. You shoot a basketball, you're coming off of both feet. You'd never want to shoot, well, I guess there are some guys who are leaning and come off of one foot.
LeBron.
But for the most part, they're starting off of two and then leaning. So the same concept, you're down on two and then up on one. I want to say it was a Cameron Todd.
Yeah, no, it is. I'm
something
pretty sure.
or other that I heard.
Down on two, up
down
on.
on two, up on one. So
Yeah.
that's something that I like to talk about. Okay, so there you go. Pretty straightforward. He's got a good putt. Gets everything straight on line. Very simple. And I've said it before. That's what you want.
I like
a
my
simple putt is a good putt.
my putter when I release it. Usually I want it either dead flat or like slightly nose up and a little bit of hyzer. Because usually when it's a little nose up, it'll tend to like glide on that and just finish left and kind of finish slow. So yeah, anything no annies I don't like, unless it's a little farther out I might a little more annie just for the flight, but yeah, I typically like to keep everything flat to slightly hyzered.
Okay. What, I know the answer to this. What's the best putting tip that you've gotten that kind of puts you over a hump?
Okay, so the best putting tip, he's good. The best putting tip I got was from this man, and it's Chris Hall. And basically, the premise of it is that this is one motion right here. A lot of people putt with this motion, and basically it's just a hinge with your elbow. So this is a lot of variables to come into your putt. Whereas if you come down and then stop, now you've like reset, you're ready, and then you can explode. And then it's a lot easier to repeat this over and over again than it is to do this exactly the same over and over again. So, yeah.
And you see it a lot in Macbeth's putt. He comes back super, super slow, and then he gets to a starting point, and then he goes. A lot of the best putters you'll see, they'll get to their starting point. Whether it's a putt, whether it's a drive, you've got to get to your starting point. It's almost as if pulling the disc back is one motion, coming forward is another motion.
Yeah, and trusting your mechanics is huge.
Definitely.
And both
Figuring out
aspects.
those mechanics and trusting.
Yeah, it's almost like once you can get into that, you can just kind of go on autopilot and let your body do the motions for you.
Yeah, for sure. Good deal. Yeah, and that's could keep going forever, but
Yeah.
that's another thing. Once you get your mechanics down, if you're behind a putt and you're worrying about where your foot is, you're worried about your shoulder, when you're about to putt, that's too many variables.
Yeah, you can't be thinking about all these things. You want to establish that routine, or maybe not even a routine, but just something you're comfortable with. And then when you step up, it should be, you know, yeah, if you want a short checklist, maybe one or two things, just make sure you're there, and then just let your body do it for you. If you're thinking about, oh, I'm going to miss it. And in fact, almost, I would say 90% of the time when I'm like having a bad putting day, or in the middle of my round, I'm struggling with my putting, if I just like kind of reset and just let my mechanics take back over and not really think or go up with that, oh, I'm going to make it, oh, I'm going to miss it, or really give it any kind of like momentum, I just try to let my mechanics do it. And oftentimes when I get back to just letting my basic mechanics come through and putt, I'll start making most of my putts again.
Yeah, you just throw at the basket.
Exactly.
And don't worry about it. So there you go. So that's Cameron's putt. We'll get into our game of bogey. I got the victory in the 3 holes, so I'll take the box.
He did.
I did.
He did.
So hopefully I can continue doing that at some point. But look out for this guy. He's gonna be coming for a lot of people.
Hopefully.
Yeah, there you go.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. Okay, so the rules for bogey, 2 putters is the way that I play it. If I make both, you have to make both.
Okay.
If I make one, you have to make one. But if I make one and you come back and you make both, then I have to go back and make it one more time to make up the difference.
Okay.
And then you take the box.
Okay.
After that.
All right.
And then yeah, straight up just like horse and basketball, we'll get our letters. Spell
Okay.
out bogey,
Sweet.
and then there we go.
Let's do it.
hit the rim, and it's got to flip in.
All right.
All right, so big thank you, Cameron Messerschmidt. All right,
Hey.
appreciate you coming out. So there you go. I've been saving that last putt.
Yeah,
we got
he-
one bar on the battery, so
he
I
got
had
me,
to,
he got
I
me
had
on
to
that
finish it real quick.
It was tricky. It was tricky.
So shout out sponsors.
I
Who
need to
supports
thank
you?
Team Waka Disc Supply and Daredevil Discs, and then my mom and my dad for just being awesome and helping me out along the way. So,
There you go.
other than that,
All right,
thanks, Chris.
yeah, for sure. All right, Ball Golf TV. Thank you.
We got Bog Off TV about discs and twigs and things. We got Bog Off TV about discs and twigs and things. We got Grab Another Seat, Chris Wobble greeting me on the Bog Off TV show.
About disc golf.